pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, the first item on our agenda is to approve any available minutes. We have minutes from August 8th. Does anyone have any comments on the minutes?
Nope.
No?
Yeah. Okay, Elaine, I just had two very minor things that I saw. On line 40, I think there should be a bracket at the end of that.
Oh, yep.
And then let's see, line 130, I think it should say privately owned wastewater treatment plant.
It should.
Yeah, okay. Minor, but might as well straighten it up. That's all I had. So if there's no other comments, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
A motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, second item on the agenda is our agent report. Steve?
Just let the board know that we had a great turnout at the Sterling Fair this year. It was very, very busy. We had no issues with food vendors. We had issued 46 food permits for the fair, temporary ones, but there were 46 permits. And fortunately with the weather, they all had a very successful time. We also have completed our beach testing, public beach testing for the season, the end of August. Everything went well there. As you know, that we had some ups and downs in our testing. I cannot answer why, but we had some ups and downs. Most beaches had issues all summer, but we did not have to close Sterling's public beach. I had forwarded the board members there's a renewal for an earth removal permit coming forward. I had forwarded the application and that information associated with that. I don't know that the Board of Health has much to do with this particular application, but it is there for your review. In following regulations, the zoning regulations will be changing, or they're being proposed to be changed. We had this discussion about a month or so ago, 2 months perhaps. You all have a link to that. There were some questions that some of you had, maybe jotted down or otherwise. Stephen Wallace, the town planner, will attend our next meeting, October 10th, to kind of make a presentation and kind of go over the changes so that we can have question and answer time at that point. So just be mindful and bring those questions with you at that point.
And on that note, if I could just interject, I believe he's having a public meeting on November 7th. Is that correct?
I know he's having a couple of public sessions.
It's actually on the website, so the town website on the front page. I noticed it earlier. We just might want to mention it now that we're talking about it.
Public forum and proposed zoning changes, November 7th, 6:30 at the 1835 Town Hall building.
Excellent. Okay.
So in addition to us. Keeping the board updated, I would like to inform them that Kathy, our administrative assistant, is going to be out of the office for a little while. She's having a medical procedure done. Elaine and I will be covering as best possible during her time away. I don't know exactly how long though.
Okay. If there's any time that you need me to come in, let me know.
Same here. I mean, I can come in and be trained pretty easily.
Perfect, thank you.
Haven't done it here, but I've done it.
Barry Lean, our emergency preparedness coordinator, he'll be attending our October meeting as well. He has a small presentation, probably about 15 minutes or so, that he'll make for us during that time. As I said, we had closed out the beach season at the end of August. During the month, we had 6 certificate of compliances issued. We had 16 Title V inspections completed. We issued 1 well permit and 3 construction permits. The industrial wastewater haulers, we had sent out 3 businesses applications, 2 of which sent their completed applications back to the office, 1 of which was just waiting for a check from corporate office so that they could send it. They assured us that we'll be getting it next week. So we expect that all 3 businesses will have been provided with their licenses by then.
And they're on notice that they have to report what they haul. Okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah. That's all I have for updates at this point.
Okay, any questions of David?
No.
Yeah.
No?
Okay. All right, our next agenda item is on the septic haulers and specifically reporting. David and I have spoken about this several occasions, that we have quite a few septic haulers in town that are permitted, but we do not have a lot of reporting. They're supposed to report within 7 days, I believe.
I thought it was 14.
Okay, it might be 14, whatever. We're not getting the reporting. So,
Some do, but not all.
right. So I think it's sometime in the near future, we're going to have to put together a plan of action so that we can get these haulers to start reporting. Because honestly, that should be going into a file so that when someone is buying a house and there's a Title V inspection, that's a part of it. So, and just for the public to know, every time your septic system is pumped, whoever pumps it is supposed to report to the Board of Health when it was pumped and how much they pumped out. And that stays in a permanent record here as well. Yes, Elaine?
Just so you know, when we do receive them, they're scanned and put into the individual street files for whatever address is appropriate.
Okay, in the electronic file?
In the electronic file.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that record helps everyone, I believe. So we need to get on that. I don't think this is a unique situation to Sterling, but it is something that we need to work on. So we've been talking about sending letters out. How many haulers do we have?
I'm actually trying to find that out. My computer's looking.
We don't need to know right now, but I would like to know, just to know how many letters that we're going to have to pay to send out, unless, Elaine, do we have electronic contacts with all of the haulers? So maybe we could send out an email blast?
Oh, I'm sure we could. We would have a list. We could send something out.
I think that would be a good initial. So, does everybody concur?
Yeah, sure.
I agree.
All right, so I think, sometime in the near future, and then just let us know when it went out. I think it would be proper.
Do you have something in mind that you want to put as far as language in this email letter?
I would quote the regulation and just say that the Sterling Board of Health will be looking for reporting as required by this regulation in the future. Well, immediately,
So
I can come up with something.
what I'm asking, and again, my computer is not letting me on the network right away. When we send out the applications in November for haulers, installers, etc., we usually put something in there at that time. And I'm certain, I don't know the language, and it's somewhat soft, but as a reminder and a citation associated with Title
Okay.
V.
So let's review that and maybe make it a little less soft. Okay? Yeah. All right. I think we're all on the same page there.
Yeah?
Okay, the next agenda item is 32 Choxet Road update. I can make this very quick. I spoke to the DEP at length. They are taking the lead. They have stated that the wastewater storage is DEP's responsibility. They will keep us apprised as their investigation goes forward, and I also said that we would assist them in any way we could. One of the things that we gave them was the reporting that we got from 32 Joxon on the wastewater, which they did not have, so they were appreciative of that. I was warned that it does take a little time through the state bureaucracy for the investigation to move up, so to try to be patient with it, but they are taking the lead and we will assist. So I think our responsibility is done as far as that goes. Any questions? Okay. Next agenda item is Triple E, West Nile updates. Alan?
Okay, the state publishes maps and of the incidence of both viruses weekly. I've included what was Tuesday. It usually comes out at Tuesday or early Wednesday morning. So this is this week's, and the ones you have in your hand, the blacked out box is town of Sterling. And so we are considered to be low with respect to both Triple E and West Nile virus. I think it's important to know about Triple E. Triple E, I've been kind of looking at this over the past about 10 years since they went to testing mosquitoes. They had a previous method that wasn't too reliable. Triple E has never been outside of southeastern Massachusetts in that time. In other words, it's down towards the Cape. And it generally appears in late summer there. And no cases have ever, to my knowledge, have within the past 10 years or so been reported outside that area. Now we see it throughout the state, in locations throughout the state, South Worcester County, Middlesex County, bordering right up to Sterling. And the map is clipped, but the northeastern Massachusetts. So it's clear this is a very unusual year. And it's probably going to get both Triple E and West Nile virus persist as long as the mosquitoes exist until the first frost. And that's going to be a long way away, potentially 2 months away. So presently on Triple E, we are abutting we are listed as low, and we're abutting 2 towns that are moderate. So that's a real change from any previous years. On West Nile virus, we are categorized as of this week as low. We're a little further away from places that are moderate, a couple towns away. And so I think if you look at the data, it's going to get a lot worse before the frost. I think that's basically the bottom line. I mean, the state publishes the maps. They also publish it town by town, 360 towns. And I just pulled out the page which lists Sterling. So I think the message is that between the hours of dusk and dawn, the populace should be taking precautions to avoid getting bit by mosquitoes. That's it for you.
Anything, Gail?
No? Great.
Okay. Any questions from the public on that? Come up to the podium, please.
Just a quick question for Alan. What are the abutting towns, 2 abutting towns, just out of curiosity?
Let's see, on West Nile virus, it's 2 away. I would have to look through the list to look at that. Over here, it's I think it's Lancaster, and I'm not easily able to pull that.
Clinton, I believe.
It might be Clinton.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't quickly translate the map to the list of towns. But I mean, I have it all here. If you're interested in a particular town, after the meeting, you could come look up your favorite town.
It looks like Lancaster and Clinton are moderate.
Yes.
And we're low.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay. Go on to our next item on the agenda is the fee schedule updates. And so we went over all the fees in our last couple of meetings. However, it appears we missed one, Elaine? Is that what?
Yes. We talked
The
about
clothing
donation
bin.
box, clothing
Okay.
bins, and did not vote on that. And then the other one was residential and day camps, which was just totally looked over. And I went online and looked at about 4 or 5 different towns this afternoon for the donation boxes, and I couldn't find any towns who had them listed anymore. I don't know if it's because of the way recycling is being done with clothing, I'm not sure, but nobody had it, unless I looked incorrectly, but just saying, doesn't matter, we can still keep ours as is.
Right. There's only two issues, though?
2 issues.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So we'll have discussion on the donation boxes.
I think we should leave it as it is. I know somebody fought really hard for those.
Alan, do you have any?
We can leave it as it is. We have had problems with that in the past.
Okay.
But
And
we can also
yeah.
settle it other ways.
Well, the thing is the buck stops here. If there's a donation box and the stuff is all piling up outside, we should have the information how to contact them and make them come remove their box or whatever they choose to do.
I believe they're required to have a contact information on the box. I mean, that has never been a problem, to go read the box. It's whether, I mean, if it's a nuisance, if you have a fee and a license, you have a direct path to
Yes.
take care of it. If you don't have a fee and a license, it's much more, it's more time intensive to get rid of it.
Right. I think we all agree, so.
Yep.
Have a motion on that?
Yeah, motion, we keep that the same?
I'm okay with that.
You second it?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. A motion and a second.
Can I make a comment on that?
Come on up, Laura. Yeah.
Laura Ritchie, Bean Road. I don't know how the regulation was written on that because, I'm the citizen's petitioner, okay, for those bins. And all I can tell you is from my research is that West Boylston has a 2-sided system. They have like a gas station has to pay like $30 fee and the bin owner pays like a $40 fee. So, and they both write their names every year for an accountability so that the town knows who owns the bin. So the bins, can be just like dropped off at night, okay? And then you have no paper trail of them. So I did notice that there's a book bin over at Rhoda Springs now. So I don't know what your process is about knowing how many of these you have in town. To me, I'd be putting a sticker on them, okay, to make sure that they've been okayed and approved by the town according to the regulation that Mr. Hoffman, wrote for me. So, he didn't want to go with the fee because he mentioned, many months ago that he thought it was a good thing, which, it is a good thing because we're not supposed to be putting our textiles in the trash anymore. So, Clinton is littered with collection boxes. So if you have clothing to get rid of, you can go to Clinton and find one on every corner of the streets. So, some towns like Millbury, they charge $100. In Worcester, it's maximum of 100 bins allowed in the city, because they attract rats, is what comes down to. So, to me, it's an accountability issue. If the Board of Health doesn't know how many are in this town, then what good is the regulation, okay? So, I don't know, are the people coming here to get approved to have a bin? Is Rhoda Springs, got a stamp on the bin saying that, they got documented in the town? I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
I think we had a list, right?
We have a small list of how many that we have in town, but as Ms. Ritchie noted, in the middle of the night, someone could just drop them
Yeah,
off.
that's correct.
We wouldn't, unless it's brought to our attention, we would not know.
But we can't stop someone from dropping off a bin in the middle of the night.
We don't.
We can act on it if it happens and, notify.
That's the way it works.
Well,
Right.
the thing that happened in the past with the bins was they were dropped off and then the people disappeared and they never
Yes.
came to take care of them. So they were left with doors hanging out into the street so that people could hit. They were overflowing. People were leaving lawnmowers by them and, car seats and junk. Okay, so that was the reason, for helping to keep them controlled. Okay?
Right.
'Cause
And do you feel that they're not controlled now?
Well, I think they're controlled, okay? I honestly don't know how many are in this town right now.
I think you could go to the Board of Health and they tell you.
Well,
Without saying.
I'm at the Board of Health.
I don't have those records
I
in
know
front of me,
you don't.
Laura. You know that, but.
I know you don't. But I don't know if you really do have an exact protocol in place to make sure. Did you go over to Rhoda Springs and
Oh.
knock on their door and say,
Right.
here's a little sticker for you?
I'll comment to you that I have not asked anyone to go and search the town for bins. If a bin is reported to us, that certainly if there's a problem with it, then we will investigate. However, we haven't sent anyone from the Board of Health out to investigate the bin. So if you feel that bin at Rhoda Springs should be investigated, we'll have someone look at it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, investigative, it's a tricky word, okay?
No, investigated is the right word. We'll check to see if they're permitted and who put it there and who's responsible for it. That's an investigation.
So the permit is just a written knowledge for
That's
the
correct.
town to know that you have a bin there. So like I said, the book one is there. So I don't know if the guy that owns the ice cream shop, just said, okay, you can put it there. Okay, so
I don't know either.
I don't know. So
We're going to have to look into
yeah,
that.
so I guess you have to go ask them. The last time I knew that there were still two at the tavern over on 140. There's one at the Appletown, the one at the, was one, but now it's two over at Rhoda Springs. So that's 5 right there that I know of. The one from St. Richard's is exempt from that because that's their own thing that they built. That's not a
Okay.
thing to do with that. So
My recommendation is if you have a list, can you share that list with us and we can cross-reference?
okay.
That sound good?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I want you to know what's going on too.
And I want to know what's going on.
Okay, because there was one down in West Boylston at the Walmart that ended up being, a fly-by-night. That's under the Massachusetts General Law, Section 101, they're called transient vendors, okay? They're fly-by-nights, okay? So I went to West Boylston and I told them to get rid of it, okay? And I ended up having to call the property owner to get rid of it. So
All right.
I helped them out. So I'll do that for you too.
Thank you.
Okay, if I have to.
We appreciate it. It takes a village. Okay. All right.
Did we finish voting on that?
Did we finish voting,
I
Elaine?
don't think we did.
Okay.
You voted on it.
Okay,
Okay.
good. All right.
I don't think, but you didn't take a final vote.
Okay. So all those in favor?
State the motion.
The motion was to leave the fee as is for the drop-off boxes.
You want to read it back, Ellen?
Drop-off boxes.
To keep the fee as $50 for the donation boxes, for the current fee.
Motion was made by Gail and seconded by Alan.
Right.
Okay, so motion is second. We've had further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And the second fee that we didn't address was the residential and day camp fee of $150. We neglected to discuss that, so.
I thought we discussed, is there any
Yes, we have residential.
residential and day camps?
We have day camp, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Sterling Gym has.
Sterling Gym.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
And the fee's 150?
yes.
I'm fine with it 150 staying.
Okay, want to make them,
Oh,
any
I'm
comment
okay
on?
with it.
Any comment? No? Then I motion we keep it at 150.
Yeah, second.
Okay, motion second, further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Okay, our next item on the agenda is the variance request for 45 Johnson Road, Chapter 504 Stable Regulations, 504-3B. Stables shall be located not less than 50 feet from any adjoining property or lot lines or the line of any public street or way, and they are requesting 45 feet. I know we have people that would like to speak to it. If you'd like, if you could, go to the podium, state your name, and fill us in.
My name's Rob Pagani, 45 Johnson Road. Like Rich expressed, we are looking for a 5-foot variance to the stable regulation. We subdivided the property and that ultimately put the stable within the 50-foot buffer that the regulation states. And it's as simple as that.
Okay. Randy, would you like? Yes.
Randy Holmquist, currently 24 Maple Street, hopefully the purchaser of 45 Johnson. As we had spoken earlier, we're not looking to use it as a stable. And my understanding is it hasn't been permitted as a stable for multiple years, so therefore it does not fall under that need for a variance. We're looking to use it as a shed for dogs and chickens. And so what we would ask for our mortgage commitment is a letter from the board stating that a variance is not required because it is not in fact classified as a stable anymore. Do I have that correct?
Yes. So this is what I would offer to the board. Right now, you all have the diagram. It's under tab 8. If you lift up tab 8, it should be the next page. And it shows with a red arrow where the building is. So part of the problem with the variance is the hardship was created when they redrew the lot lines. So it would be hard to grant the variance when the hardship was created by...
Self-created.
Yes.
Yeah?
However, the idea of a building being a stable is a label that is created by the Board of Health because it's a building that holds horses.
Right.
This has not been permitted for several years. I did talk to Kathy this morning. It is not currently permitted as a stable, and it hasn't been for multiple years. Mr. Holmquist states that he doesn't intend to put horses in there. So a variance for a stable isn't, in my opinion, isn't even necessary because right now it's not a stable. And if they wanted to make it a stable, they would have to come to this board for a permit and would have to be denied because it does not fit within the regulations for our stables, for stables in Sterling. So it's kind of a, which is first, the chicken or the egg? But, I mean, personally, I would be comfortable just writing a factual letter to the bank to assist in the process, just stating that it is not now a stable, and if anyone in the future requests it to be a stable, they would either they would have to ask for a variance or change the lot line or move the building. I mean, I put a draft letter together. If the board is so inclined to write a letter for Mr. Holmquist, if you want to take a look at it, I think it's a quick and easy solution to a problem that really doesn't exist. Just for the public, I do want to read the draft letter out loud. You can keep that out. I got 3 of them. So if the board approves this letter, we'd have to know exactly who we're going to send it to.
I have the
Okay, all right. So to whomever, Sterling Board of Health Regulations 504, 1 through 18 regulate stables in the town of Sterling. This authority is given to the Board of Health from Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 111, Section 31. Regulation 504-2 defines a stable as a building for horses. Regulation 504-14 states, stable shall hold a yearly license from the Board of Health. Mass General Law, Chapter 111, Section 155, at an annual fee established by the Board of Health and issued following an inspection and approval of the facilities by the Board of Health. The Sterling Board of Health is unaware of any horses boarded on this property located at 45 Johnson Road, Sterling, Massachusetts. The Board of Health has no stable license issued to the property at 45 Johnson Road, Sterling, Massachusetts. At this time, the Sterling Board of Health does not consider any building located at 45 Johnson Road to be a stable. Should an applicant apply in the future for a stable license from the Sterling Board of Health, any building considered in this process as a stable would need to fully comply with the Sterling Health Regulations 504, 1 through 18.
I would like to just state after your paragraph, next to the last paragraph, that Mr. Holmquist, is your name, appeared at a meeting, at the Sterling Board of Health meeting on today's date and stated that the building is not presently used as a stable, which is...
Nor any intention to be.
Well,
if that helps.
I think the important thing is it's not being, there's no prior use here.
Okay.
And whether you want to put in, he doesn't intend to, that's fine, but, I mean, it is not presently being used as a stable and has not been used as a stable. That's the key thing, because there is no prior, that establishes no prior use, which, you know, down the road, when different people are involved, maybe none of us are involved, somebody might allege that, yes, this had been used as a stable. We know that as of this date, it is never used as a stable, so we should put that in the letter. It's my suggestion.
I would just caution the board not to use the word never. 2010 was the last time it was permitted. So never is a word that I don't think.
I was not writing the sentence, I was indicating, but it has not been used as a stable. He stated that. And then whether you want to add more to that, doesn't matter to me.
I'm gonna quickly write a sentence and run it past the board. Probably make it fairly simple. Mr. Holmquist attended the Board of Health meeting on September 19, 2024, and stated at this meeting that it is not presently used, that the building is not, actually, that's right, no building is presently used as a stable at 45 Johnson Road.
That's fine.
Okay. I think this is a good solution to a problem that really didn't exist other than the fact that the person documenting the property said that the building had to be torn down. So, yeah, and the bank saw that and raised questions.
Right.
So,
Here's the bank information if you'd like it.
yeah, thank you. Okay.
You see on the bottom, that's the individual that actually addressed it to.
Okay, so I would like a vote of the board on this, just so that we're all on the same page. So can I have a motion to approve the letter being sent as we agreed?
I move that we approve the letter that Mr. Lane just made, just offered.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, any further discussion? Any discussion from the public? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just a question as to when that would be delivered to the bank.
Oh, a couple months. We'll do our very best to get it out early next week. Okay. All right. The office is not open on Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll look at it Monday, and I could email it to her, have it emailed to her.
Take your time, a couple of years is fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You do have a sense of humor.
Sometimes. Okay, good night.
I can't take any more humor.
Okay. Our next order of business is a variance request for 14 Maple Street. The variance request for under minimum setback distance is as follows: 310 CMR 15.211, minimum setback for a septic tank from basement wall, 10 feet. Required, 8.5 feet is proposed. 310 CMR 15.211, minimum setback for a septic tank from a property line, 10 feet is required. 8.12 feet is proposed. 310 CMR 15.211, minimum setback for a soil absorption system from property line, 10 feet is required, 5 feet is proposed. 310 CMR 15.211, minimum setback for a soil absorption system from basement wall, 20 feet is required, 4.34 feet is proposed. And I did look, this is the Grange building?
Yes.
Okay. And would you like to speak on this?
Yes.
You come on up. Just identify yourself
Up here?
for the record. Yeah.
Okay. My name is Chuck Budnick, and I'm the project manager on this project.
Okay.
What we have here is a very tight site. The existing system that is being used at the building right now is a cesspool that is under the floor of the basement. And so to be able to accommodate the building with guests and that type of thing, it's definitely a need for an actual septic system. And so basically we're strapped relative to the position of the building and its property lines, for one thing. And we basically are trying to, we tried to siphon it out and be able to put the septic tank on one side and the leach fields on the other, so that they weren't all on the same side. Otherwise, it would be almost impossible to design the system. And in terms of the setbacks, we have a barrier installed around the actual field to prevent any liquid from getting, for instance, against the foundation of the building, and also going in over across the property line on the westerly, northwesterly side.
And that's Bridge Street, correct?
Well, Bridge Street is over here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a homeowner's property
Okay.
over here.
I was going to know.
Yeah. So that's what we're faced with, and we've shoehorned this in as best we could to minimize the need for the variances, but basically without the variances, it can't be built.
And it's my recollection that that's the .14 acre piece of property, is that correct?
We do have...
Very small, that's
We do
my-
have an area on here, and
It's not that important.
Okay.
But I just want to highlight that it's a very, very small piece of property, and it's on the corner.
Right.
And it's right, that's St. Richard's over
Right,
here.
this is St. Richard's, right.
Bridge Street, Maple Street, so
Right.
just to orient people.
Okay.
Yeah, I look. So you already answered the one question that I had with the barrier.
Yeah.
Right.
What was the depth of groundwater? I mean, it's a long ways, but
Pardon me?
what was the depth to groundwater?
We never experienced groundwater. We basically,
What was the depth of
we dug 2 trenches. The one trench over here was 136 inches, which is more than 10 feet, and we never saw anything. No
Right.
bottles, no seepage, nothing. The soil is extremely porous.
Yeah, I walk by it every day, so
Yeah.
He lives right there.
I
Yeah,
live down the other end of the street.
yeah.
Septic is better than the cesspool underneath.
Well, that's,
Well, the cesspool's apparently been working, which means the soils must be good.
well, this is, in our opinion, this is better than a cesspool.
Right.
So,
Now, I got a question for the health agent. Do they have to fill in the cesspool, right?
They're required to abandon the cesspool.
Right, so it's gotta be, it can't be just left as a hole.
That's correct.
Right.
I move we accept this.
well, any,
Well, if there's any
yeah,
question.
any questions or discussion, Gail?
No.
David, do you have any? I do not. Okay.
Butters?
Do we have any abutters here? Are there any questions or comment from the abutters?
No.
You're aware of everything that's going on?
Yes, it's filled in, I don't care.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You want it filled in as fast as possible. Right?
We do have some board members from the Grange that are in the audience. as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
If you want to have questions.
If anyone has questions or comments, now's the time. Okay. All right. So hearing none, do I have a motion?
I move we accept this plan.
Okay.
I second that.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Hoffman, aye.
Hassett, aye.
Lane, aye.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So So the next item on our agenda is any non-specific comments on the installers exam that was sent out to us earlier. But I am going to request of my fellow board members to put this off to the next meeting. And the reason is because I did not have time to go through the exams. Oh, you didn't see them? Okay, well, we'll find out. Yeah.
Okay, they might have been, but I might have missed it.
All right. Are you
Anything's
good with that, Alan?
possible. I'm human.
All right. So Elaine, we're going to put that off to another meeting because...
The comments on the installer's exam, is that what, I didn't...
Yes, yes.
I'm talking with Mr.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So you're
I'm going to put that off. I did not have time to go over the exams, and I just want to make sure that all the questions are still pertinent with our new regulations. All right? And then the only thing that I really wanted to comment on the Board of Health policy review and update is that I'm going to start to work on policies. I'm the type of person, I like to see things in writing so that it always gives us something to go back to. Why did we do something? Why didn't we do something? If we have something in writing, it backs us up. It also gives us guidance, and none of us are going to be here forever. Someone's got to take our place. It assists with continuity. So what I'm going to ask of my fellow board members and the members of the Board of Health that work in the office is if there's something that you want addressed or cleaned up or put as a policy, to forward it to me directly. We're not going to discuss it, through email, but it will be a process. It's not something that happens overnight. It doesn't happen in a short amount of time either. It takes a while to build policies, and it's going to take us a little longer because we have to work within the rules of open meetings. So basically what I'll do is I'll take suggestions, I'll write them down, we'll present them as a draft and discuss them at meetings, and then when it's completed, we can vote to accept it. And again, I expect this to take a little time. So that's all I'm asking it for at this point, is to forward me anything you think that needs to be addressed. Okay? And that's everything except we are for our public session. Is there anyone that wants to address the board during public session? No? Okay. So future agenda items. I think we've already discussed a few, but as always, if you have something that you would like to address during the meeting, send it to David and we'll incorporate it in our agenda. And then we have our meeting date is the 10th of October. Anything further from the board members? David and Elaine?
No. What's the date in October?
10th.
The 10th, thank you.
Okay. I think that's all we have.
Okay, I move we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
No discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much.